Welcome to Biz Wire. I'm Joseph Nordstrom in Beijing. The Chinese government is starting to relax its household registration system, or hukou, in smaller cities first and then extending it to bigger cities. This is the first step in repealing a system left over from the planned economy, in line with efforts to put about 3/4 of the population into cities where they're expected to consume much more. For years, there has been much talk of reforming the hukou system, but so far that's all it's been, just talk. But the new leadership does appear to be committed to the idea of challenging vested interests, feeling some short-term pain, all for the greater long-term good. According to a report introduced last week at a meeting of the National People's Congress, China is now on track to remove all hukou restraints in small towns and cities, lift to a certain extent restrictions in middle-sized cities in what officials describe as an orderly manner, and eventually relax requirements to get a hukou in big cities. The report issued by the State Council is about the development of the urbanization process, which is central to the new leadership's tasks, which Premier Li Keqiang said is the biggest potential development for the country. Economists point to the efficiencies created with densely packed cities. Leaders also hope that with the security of having a residency permit, people will spend more, driving domestic demand. China's household registration system, introduced in the 1950s as a way of helping to manage the planned economy, has long separated people into either rural or urban citizens, blocking the former from access to better services in cities, and is a source of inequality and social instability. There is currently a huge disparity in the standards of social services provided to individuals registered in urban and rural areas. For example, schools and medical care are of much better quality in cities. For big cities like Beijing, the pace of integrating new residents will be much slower than other cities. Costs are a major factor in delaying changes. Providing social services like education, healthcare, and other forms of social insurance for migrant workers is steep, with some scholars estimating that each new urban resident will cost 200,000 yuan, or about $32,000. Another issue is that large numbers of people pouring into cities raises the question of whether city management can keep up. Because of this, it's likely going to be a long time before migrants arriving in big cities like Beijing will be able to apply for permanent residence. Prejudice and discrimination also remains a large obstacle to change, with many city dwellers, for example, saying they don't want their kids to go to school with the children of street sweepers. Currently, 52% of people in China live in cities, which is relatively low compared to other countries. If the level of urbanization were to increase by 1 percentage point each year, then 70% of China's population would be urban dwellers by 2030. Millions of people in rural areas live as subsistence farmers and do not contribute to the official economy. Officials believe that these hundreds of millions of people could transform China's economy and push it through the next stage of sustained development. You're watching Biz Wire on the Blue Ocean Network. Stay tuned for more in Economic Insight.